And welcome to Strangers in the Night, your source for late night VR gaming talk. I am your host, Wes. With me, as always, my good friend Eric.
What's up, fellas?
What's up, Eric? And my good friend Roots. Roots, how you doing, brother? You ready to talk a little VR, or do you want to, like me, want to just go back and play some more?
I wanted to go stay in Pop 1. We were actually I had a really good game not right before the next game we went in, we got our asses kicked, but the game before I had a really good game. So at the Mr. Tass, I was telling you guys, man, that I've never headshotted somebody off of a roof, and with a sniper gun, it was so cool. It felt so good, and yeah, it was cool.
I've never headshotted somebody off of a roof in a game before. So yeah, that was pretty cool. But yeah, Roots taking the Mr. Tass to its fullest potential, man. We were rocking it. We almost won.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, it was so close.
Couple times we almost won. Yeah,
it was good.
Times.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
But yeah, man, we did. For those of you who support us on Patreon, we have been recording the latest episode of Money Show, and we did that from Pop 1 over 2 days. We did a few runs last night. My quest was dead when we started, so we didn't make it very far, and we picked it back up today and had a blast, man. Did not want to stop. So I think this might be the first show I've ever started off by saying, really don't want to be here. Want to be in there some more. It was a good time.
Yeah, and we decided, or Wes decided, his family's going to have to be playing Pop 1 now.
Yeah.
So, but they're going to love it, and it's going to be cool. You got a built-in
Here's
squad
the
right
thing,
there,
man.
3 of you.
Yeah.
I've never played this game for more than like a week. And like I'll play a week and I'll take 6 months off, and I'll play a week and I'll take 6 months off. And it's always right when I start to feel comfortable in the game and start to feel like I can do something when we stop playing it. So like I don't like just tonight I started to feel it a little bit like, okay, maybe I can play. And if past patterns come to fruition here, then we'll never pick it up again. And I don't want that to happen. So we need to be getting in there more often. Shout out Delirium Drew. Drew, you're gonna have to move your stream up or your Pop 1 sessions up a couple hours so I can get in there with you guys on Fridays.
Yeah, I can't believe Drew's never invited me.
Me neither.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Son of a bitch, Drew.
That's messed up, Drew.
Anyway, it was a good time. I too used my my Mr. Tass, only I used the quick aim. Roots was using the mini stock. I was using the quick aim. And it does make a difference. I can attest to that. Anyway, welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for staying up, hanging out, waiting for us. All jokes aside, I am kind of glad to be here. We got some really cool stuff to talk about this week. We got old stuff. We got new stuff. We got old things made new again. Eric, I mean, we've got a pretty wide variety of topics tonight, right?
We're like branching out. With 2 weeks in a row, we haven't really done a lot of games. We're doing games and products and topics, and I like it. It's different.
It's a good mishmash, right?
I do too.
I love MASH. I
Yeah,
mean,
anything with MASH on it, it is good.
Absolutely.
Anyway, with that said, let's not dilly-dally. Let's get in here. Let's say hello to our friends in chat. Of course, Wolveraza is in the house. Dude, y'all just need to grab me when you want to play. I'm always up for Pop if you want the XP stuff.
Hell yeah.
Dude, I'm down. I'm down. Now, with that said, and I mean this in all sincerity, Eric, I want to get you in the PlayStation VR with the aim controller. We need to do some firewall. We need to do some Farpoint co-op. It needs to happen soon.
I'm ready. I got I have everything hooked up. I never unhook my PlayStation. I always have it hooked up and ready to go. And probably need to charge my aim controller, but other than that, I'm ready to roll anytime.
I've never used my aim controller. I bought it brand new, and it's sitting over there, and I keep looking at it, and I'm like, what did I buy this thing for? Techno glitch.
Really? Ever?
No. I bought it when I got the used PlayStation VR after I got my PlayStation 5. So
how did you play Farpoint? You played it with controller?
When I sold my PS4 Pro to my roommate, and I gave everything. It was the PS4 Pro, it was the PSVR, it was the
Oh,
aim
okay.
controller,
Uh,
all that stuff.
What he's saying, Eric, is that he now has a new aim controller which he hasn't used yet.
Yes,
I
yes.
He did have
I
he had
had one
aim
before.
before.
Yeah.
Right.
This thing's brand new.
Yeah.
I think maybe we just came up with the venue for our next money show, guys. Like,
Hell yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
We could even
We'll
do a
do
split
firewall
stream
match.
too with one of us commentating on two of us going in and co-op in Farpoint. That would
Oh
be
god,
freaking
wow.
amazing,
I
man.
know
Yeah.
who's
Great idea.
commentating and who's gonna far pointing. You guys would be kicking some ass in there.
Yeah, well, we did.
Okay.
I mean, Roots and I, we did a Farpoint co-op
That was fun.
gameplay a long time ago. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm getting into the shooters again, as we will discuss a little bit later in the show. Onikazi's here. Says he's only used his aim so far for Farpoint. I can't think of a better way to use it. Salvador's here. What's up? Zayla Maru says I still need to transition to my PS5. Roots, I've got a PS5 and I have GameFly, which means I have my pick. Any AAA game that comes out, I can just tell them to send it to me. And I haven't been using it. I've had this Ratchet and Clank game here since it launched, and
Did
I
you
haven't
what?
even booted it yet.
What? You haven't
Um,
booted that game? That's actually a really good
I
game.
haven't. Yeah, I know. So I'm wondering, should I play that? Should I send it back and get something else like Elden Ring, which just came out? I don't know what to do. I picked it up thinking that I would have PSVR 2 games to get on it by now, but here we sit with another year to go, and I want to get my money's worth out of this thing. So what do I do?
My instinct would be I think you got to get Elden Ring, dude. Just because it's well, we're gonna Mash and I are getting it. And we're gonna be getting it on the PS5, right? Are you gonna get Mash? I know I'm getting it. And
it sounds daunting though, man.
It's going to be one of the hardest,
does.
but it's going to be perfect for Wes. So it's going to be one of the hardest games you've ever played, but one of the coolest. The exploration, I mean, it's hands down one of the best things. And you've had that game for, I mean, even though Ratchet and Clank is amazing, you've had it since launch. You said,
Yeah.
So,
Well, nothing's been able to really grab my attention except for Returnal. Like I want to play Ratchet and Clank, but whenever I get ready to play a game and I think about it, I'm like, well, I'd much rather just play a VR game, and that's typically what I do.
yeah. Well, you just got to wait for those times when, there's those moments when you're just so tired you don't even want to be in VR, but you still want to chill and veg on something, and so that's when you gravitate towards the fly game. Yeah.
Occasionally. Tasselhoff says your Fallout VR was great today. Thank you. We're going to do a lot more of that, and we're going to talk about it a lot more here in just a few minutes. Drippy the Game Cat, what's up? He says hi, Roots.
Hey,
What's up,
yo.
Drippy? Roots needs to play BioShock. Roots does need to play BioShock. I wholeheartedly agree with that. It's one of the greatest games of all time. Return to Rapture Volume 2 is coming in a week, guys. It's coming in a week.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know if you guys caught it, but a couple of weeks ago when we talked about Return to Rapture Chapter 1 on this show, one of the studios that's helping develop the second part left a long comment with a lot of details about Part 2. So it's a very interesting read. You guys anybody who's interested in that Return to Rapture Half-Life Alyx mod might want to travel back a couple of weeks and read the comments. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
I think it's super cool that they're taking a look at what we're doing and they're, interested in what we have to say, which is cool.
Yeah, peepers.
Absolutely.
I call them peepers, peeping toms.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah.
What are you guys doing in there? Except for we have the window wide open, so that's not really peeping.
Onikazi asks, has there been an official announcement of Q1 23 launch? Rumors are rumors, and silence is deafening, but until Sony states it, it still could be up in the air. That is true. And I will just say this. I tend to lean toward believing it, but only because of the credibility of Brian Paul and AJ. With that said, nothing about this makes sense to me. Nothing at all about this makes sense to me. But what they said, Brian Paul and AJ both said that they each had multiple sources, different sources. Each of them had multiple different sources telling them the same thing. So there's something to it. Now, whether or not it's locked in stone that that's what's happening, they said it's confirmed. But again, I've heard from multiple other sources this week that they're wrong, and that they're shooting themselves in the foot by taking this to a video. So only time will tell. If I had to bet, I'd bet on Without Parole, but I'm still hopeful. I don't think that that this matter is settled yet. Like Onakazi says, until Sony says something, we really don't know. So I would stay tuned. I'm very anxious to see how this month plays out, how GDC plays out. And I think that'll be very telling. If a month from now we haven't heard anything else about it, I think it would lend a lot of credence to what Brian and AJ said.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll know. We'll know by GDC, by the end of GDC, I believe.
Yeah.
Just
And we talked about this earlier too, if you guys want to check out our money show, if you're a patron, but you know,
pretty much all we talked about was
Exactly.
PlayStation VR.
Daniel says, Daniel Cass says, sadly, it's Bradley said he doesn't believe it. And actually, Wes said he was mentioned that as well. That Bradley said that.
That's true. Yeah, Brad, he's like us, man. It just don't add up. Like, it don't make sense to him the same way it doesn't make sense to us, because we know they're going into production, and he follows the production of this hardware closely enough that he knows when a thing goes into full production like this, you know, they can ship in 2 to 3 months. You're going to wait a year? Really? For what? You're going to wait until the holiday season has come and gone to try to launch this thing? Why? Why are you going to wait till everybody's broke to try to launch it? Doesn't make any sense. Now, if there's another reason, if they're trying to leverage the negotiation with the Tobii eye tracking, maybe that's a possibility. Maybe they wanted to push it back so that Tobii didn't have so much negotiating leverage with them. Maybe they're waiting on software. But according to Brian and AJ, this is an install based thing. Like, they want to get more PlayStation 5s in the wild before they do it, but that don't make sense either. Like, how many more are you seriously going to have in 3 months? It's not going to be that much.
Right. And like you were saying earlier, they already have what, 20 million? By the time
right around 20 million now.
By the time it shipped, if it did ship in holiday 2022, it'd probably be what, 30 million? How many do they want to have? I mean, how many do you want? I mean, to where you can say, hey, we're not, you know, this install base of the PlayStation 5 is not high enough for us to put a peripheral out there. How many do you need to have? Do you need to have 50 million? Because do you think you're going to get another 20 million between, you know, Christmas 2022 and spring of 2023? How many more do you think you're going to get, especially if you're still having shortages issues? So what are you going to do? You're going to wait until holiday 2023? Are you going to wait till spring 2024 if you don't have enough? So where do you draw the line of just saying, look, we need to put this out there now, because if we don't, we're going to be behind. We don't want to be behind. Right now, we're ahead. We need to get ahead of it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Right. What we talked about earlier is I believe this is a very fluid situation. So what Brian and AJ could be hearing today, which I think they're absolutely, 100% right. Okay. I don't doubt whatever they say. But what they're hearing today might not be the same tomorrow. I could see this thing changing, going back and forth, many different times before now and release.
Right. And what Onakazi said is the bottom line. Until Sony says it, it's still in the air. So we will see. My whole thing is we've seen the production estimates, like the high end of the first year production numbers for PSVR 2, they're 1 to 2 million. Like, that's 10% of today's install base. Like, you need to have another 10 million, 15 million consoles out there before you launch your 1 million headsets. I don't think so. There's more going on here, I think, than meets the eye. There are things at play here, and maybe it is confirmed, and everyone else is just behind the times on it. But I guess we'll know soon enough. And in the meantime, we all can look forward to Project Cambria, right?
Yeah.
What's in the box? What's in the box? Techno Glitch is here, as is ET. 2K9.now. What's up? I've never wanted Brian and AJ to be so wrong before that news. Well, they are wrong from time to time. I mean, they did say that that Wraith the Oblivion Afterlife was a terrible game, right? So they're wrong sometimes. Zayla Maru says the plot thickens. Indeed, it does. Good day, Ray Pope. What's up, brother? Radio Runt, Idaho is in the house. Let's see here. Traveling Man, I think we already said hello to, as well as Taz. Salvador, hello. Michelle B, good evening. Let's see. Chi-Town D, what's up, Chinatown D? Thanks for hanging out. Dark Angel, what's up? Dark Angel didn't know what to think when I was streaming at 11 to 12 o'clock in the afternoon today. In the morning, I started in the morning streaming today instead of streaming.
Yeah, I was
in the
walking
middle
out
of
the
the night.
door and I saw you were just right when I was leaving. You were starting to stream.
It was
Yeah,
weird.
I was
I'm like,
tired
what the
last
hell
night.
is going on?
After I got done with the money show last night, I was tired, and by the time I felt like going again, it was like 4 a.m. I said, you know what? I'm just going to take a nap. I'm going to take a nap. I'll get up and I'll stream when I get up, and that's what I did. But never fear, night strangers. Don't consider that to be the norm. Next time I'm on, I'm quite sure might even be after night show. Like I'm itching to get back in there, so we'll see. Let's see who else is in the house. I think that Sin is back. Sin is back was here earlier. Maybe he'll be back a little bit later.
He was tired.
Yeah, that's typical. And yeah, I think that's going to complete the roll call. Thanks for hanging out tonight, guys. Person sliding in here. Project Cambria got announced. Nice. Well, they haven't announced a launch date for it, but they have reiterated multiple times. And again, even recently, they reiterated that Cambria will launch this year. So that one's coming.
Did you
we
see
don't
the
know exactly when.
Yeah, did you see the screenshot? There was a screenshot that a developer had put out there of his mobile screen. And on the mobile screen, the mobile app for the Oculus app, it actually shows you your headsets, your active headsets.
Hmm.
And one of his headsets, it was still a picture of a Quest 2, but it said Cambria next to it. And actually didn't say Cambria. It said what was the name of it? The C something. The
I don't know.
whatever the project name is for the Cambria, it said that next to it. So yeah.
Cool. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's coming. There's no doubt. And we need to be clear with Cambria, it's not a new platform. I mean, it's a new headset. It's going to be nice to experiment with next gen features on Meta platform. I think my main use for it will be as a wireless PCVR headset. I expect it'll have more resolution. It'll have nicer visuals and stuff in it. And face haptics rumored for it. I'm just hardware hungry right now, man. I'm heartbroken about PSVR, so I need something to buy. And I think Cambria is probably going to be it. Anyway, Seacrest, thank you, Onakazi.
Seacrest. That's it. Thank you, man.
Anyway, why don't we dive in and talk about a little bit of VR? We had a chance to play Vox Machinae this past week, and I don't mean the one that's been on Steam for 3 years. I mean the one that's coming to Quest 2 tomorrow. We were given access to this game last week by the good people at Space Bullet. Thank you, by the way, Space Bullet, not only for allowing us to check out the game early, but allowing us to talk about it before the embargo's up. So we had very specific parameters we have to follow here, but we are allowed to give our impressions of the game and run the trailer in the background like Ruuts is doing here. Anyway, we checked this out. All three of us checked this out on Oculus Quest 2. Again, launching today. I guess is the proper thing to say. Launching today at around 1 p.m. Eastern time. So everyone be on the lookout. I think $30 is the launch price for this. And I got to be honest, when I jumped into this, I thought, it might be something pretty cool. I already knew going in that this was from a very, very small team of independent developers. And we only found out about this single player campaign less than a month ago. So my expectations were very tempered for this. But as soon as I got in the menu screen, I could tell like this game was going to be a lot better than I thought. And I was impressed from the time I put the headset on and booted the game up. Roots, early impressions when you booted into the menu screen and you saw the giant mech in front of you and the little ant-like people running around at its base. Did it make the same kind of impression on you that as it did on me?
Yeah, I was amazed actually, but I didn't have any doubts that it was going to be amazing because I played the PC version and I was equally blown away when I played the multiplayer back in the day. But no, I just thought I couldn't believe how cool it looked on the Quest 2, how good it looked, and just
Yeah.
for me the moments was like just go. You're in the mech and you're going up out of the ground and you're going through all those doors and they're opening up and you're actually going through. And I was like, man, if this thing was like, if my ground was tilting and rumbling was going on and stuff, I would be in a Disney World ride or something that was like, looked that good and that cool, right? I was like, this is super cool, man. And I don't know. I felt like it was cool to be a little bit more get a little more acquainted with the AI face thing, because before in the multiplayer it was just a lady talking to us. Right now I get the backstory and it's really cool.
Eric, graphically, like, exceeds expectations by a mile, at least in my case. Like, these graphics are, it looked, it reminded me a lot of Tales from the Galaxy's Edge. Like, it had that same kind of art style to it. And again, what is this? 6 dudes? It was a team of 3 that expanded to a team of 6 to make this. And again, we didn't even know this was coming on Quest till a couple of weeks ago. How long do you think this thing had to be in development to achieve this level of polish? It's really impressive, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. I mean, for this small of a team to do this, I mean, this is one of the best looking Quest games you'll find. I was shocked. I have played the PC version as well, and that's a gorgeous game too, the PC version. And this is really, really good. You kind of start in a hangar, so you see the big, huge mech up front. So you're like, wow, this is amazing. But when you go outside into the environments and you see what's going on outside, it is stunning. And in the trailer, I'm not sure what version this is in the trailer, but I would say it looks
It
very,
looks
very
like,
similar to the
yeah,
Quest 2, right? If it's not, it might be the Quest 2 footage.
yeah. This is what it looks like. I mean, this trailer is exactly
Yeah.
what it looks like. So I mean, um, I can't wait to try it out on PC because I'm curious to how much better the PC version could look. Now, I got to be honest, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Like, graphically, the game shines in the interior scenes, like when you're inside the ship, the inside of the mech, in the hangar, all that stuff's beautiful. When you're outside, it's beautiful as well, but it's beautiful in the distance. Where you're looking looks very good because you're never really quite looking close to you. You're always looking off far in the horizon. But if you do stop and look directly down at the ground and at the rock formations that are very close to you, they are low res. They're pretty low res. Um, you never notice it unless you're looking for it. And I got to imagine that it's stuff like that you're going to tell the difference on PC versus Quest. But again, this is stuff that you really it's really a nitpick. It's not something that you ever really notice while you're playing.
Onakazi says in the white text at the beginning of this video, it says it's captured on PC. So this is the PC version. But
Yeah.
I didn't look straight down, so I didn't see those rocks. But I mean, everything looked really amazing to me. But I would imagine, like you said, that's probably not even a problem in the PC version. So
Right. Yeah, I think that they did a very good job here of you know they know where you're looking, right? And I don't want to call it smoke and mirrors, but it kind of is smoke and mirrors. This looks like a PC game. I mean, he just said this is PC gameplay. This is what it looks like. It probably has a little bit better lighting, probably has a little bit better texture resolution on the up close items. But man, you don't see that stuff when you're in there. I was
Yeah.
thoroughly impressed with how this game looks and plays, for that
Yeah.
matter. Um,
Let me
Typically, one thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say on that note, let me read a little message from the dev that he sent. Okay, he said, "Rest
Okay.
assured that the PC VR Oculus platform preview here is representative of the same great experience players will get across all other platforms we support with the current live product." So I really think that I don't know this for sure because we didn't get a chance to play it. Just we were out of time and we had some logistical issues with getting the PC version up and running. But I really think they're going to be very, very similar. I think they might even, they don't know this yet, but for sure, but they might
Mm.
even lower the graphical settings of the of what you're going to see on the other version to match this version, because you got to remember this is multiplayer across platforms. So you might see a contractors thing. Remember how they kind of dumbed down contractors a little bit with the PC version when they launched the Quest 2 version. So
Mm.
I think you're going to see a very, very similar experience with both these platforms,
Personally,
Speculation.
which is a
Just
great thing.
again,
It's
this is
still great.
yeah. Just to be clear, this is speculation. We don't have any inside knowledge of this. I think that Eric is basically basing this not only on what the developer said there, but just the high quality of the Quest 2 version. It's so good that it could pass for a PC game. It really could.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Person said he had checked and it's not on Viveport Infinity anymore, so it's not going to be there. And somebody was
But
asking if it was going to. This was also the update was going to be on the PC version, which it is. It's going to be
it is.
for all of them.
Yeah. The single player campaign will be live tomorrow on all platforms. So whether you have it on Rift, on Steam, on Quest, you're going to be able to play through the story. Which, by the way, guys, pretty cool story, right? Like, fully voice acted. Um, and again, you have full character models in here that you're interacting with, talking to face. A lot of the times when you have this type of game from these smaller indie studios, the mouth is always weird when they try to talk to you. None of that here. Like these are very good looking character models, mouth synced up very well with the words that they're saying. Again, very impressive. Not only is the story good, but the storytelling has been good so far. Now, again, I haven't finished the game. I've only played it for a couple hours, but so far so good.
It did start a little slow, story wise, but every game does. One thing I did notice, and I don't know if you guys noticed this, and this is just my, maybe this is just a weird, I don't know, timeline version of a different parallel universe. But you're getting up close to these people. They have a lot of teeth. Like their teeth, I was like, wow, man, they're like a little bit smaller and just a lot of teeth. And it's
Like extra teeth, you think? Like
I don't know, man. It just looked. But you're right, Wes.
That
I was
engineer
noticing-
guy,
I was gonna say everything looked
the-
really good with the mouth movement and stuff.
yeah, it's the hardest thing for these guys to animate. They did an exceptional job here. Again, the character models are beautiful, even with all their teeth. That engineer guy, I know exactly what you're talking about. That engineer guy, his mouth was from ear to ear, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
to me, this was the thing that was lacking with the other version. Man, it was the story. I loved Vox Machina on Steam, but it was multiplayer only, really, and there was no campaign, there was no story behind it, and that's what kind of bored me a little bit with it. So to have a story now, it just makes the game for me.
Yeah. Well, and to that being said, the PvP is amazing. I can't wait to get in there when now they're gonna have lobbies that are full, and it's gonna be so cool. I did go in and now let me ask you guys this, just in gameplay wise. Did either of you? Well, maybe you didn't because you didn't play it. Maybe Mash did. I remembered that I could like jump or somehow get in the air, right? And so when I first got in there, I'm messing with stuff, and there was the eject button. And so I ended up like I was almost done with the mission. I ejected myself. I had to redo the mission. I was like, "Damn it, son of a bitch! I didn't know." And then right after that, I found out how I could boost or teleport or boost up in the air. How cool was that, right? The directional and everything.
I love it.
Super cool.
It feels so good because that thing. I mean, you can jump high with that thing and far. And I always found myself having to pull it back to not over jump. Like when
Yeah.
you're following your trainer or whatever, and her mech's a lot faster than yours is. But if you use that jump thing, you could jump right over her and get in front of her.
Imagine
And
how
it
cool
feels
that's
good
going to be
too.
in PvP, Wes. Like, because you jump up and you're going up and over people and turning around and shooting, lasering down. I mean, it's crazy. And I think it's like 5v5 or something. So you got all your buddies in there. You got your little CB and your horn. It's just good. It's fun. Good old fashioned American fun.
It's almost like Jumping Flash, isn't it? You get super high and you're
Yeah.
shooting down. It feels like Jumping Flash almost.
It's cool.
Yeah.
But see, what's different though is like this is like you did in the campaign. And I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but this is really like 3 minutes in. You shoot somebody's arm off. Well, that's happening. You're PvP and you're getting your arm blown off, or you're shooting the enemies. You're trying to shoot their legs out, so then they can't. Then they're like limping along. I mean, I guarantee you're gonna have a lot of fun in the multiplayer. That's cool.
Ruuts always loves the multiplayer stuff, man. I could tell. I could feel the excitement coming off of you.
Yeah, that's fun.
I'll be glad to get in there and check it out. But I'm really digging the single player campaign. That's more my speed.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the crazy mailman guy who went nuts in the beginning?
Yeah,
I was
I
laughing my
thought it was
ass off
cool.
at that one, man.
I wanted to fight him before they would let me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
right.
was just being a jerk,
He was being a jerk. I don't like
He
him.
went
Kinda like-
completely postal.
I like the whole workplace dynamic they've got going on here too. It feels like you're on a work site.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And that AI is like crazy, very obsessed with work.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to get your quota, bro.
Yeah.
One more thing before we move on. Typically, historically, in any type of game that has a virtual HOTAS or a virtual joystick that you're steering a craft with in game, I've never been comfortable with them. I've never quite felt good using that type of thing. And when I'm given an option, I'll always switch off and use like stick controls. Not the case here. I absolutely love how they did the controls in this thing, where you have a throttle on the left and you just set it to what speed you want it and you let that go. And then with the right, you have a stick that you're using to turn with, but you just grab it, use the grab button to grab the in-game stick, and then all you have to do is rotate your controller like this. And it's so precise and intuitive. I absolutely love how they did the virtual stick in this thing, and I wish more games do it like this, and I would use it more often.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it always feels like you don't really have, like you're using it and then all of a sudden it loses it. And then you're like, it gets weird. I don't like it either usually, but this one was really good.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
super intuitive.
I never
was
I was
gonna say,
just
it was
gonna say, I
super
never-
intuitive, yeah.
I never felt out of control with it at all. And I've never played this game before, and I've never really played much mech game, mini mech games at all either.
Mm.
I picked it up immediately, and it was like I'd been playing it for years right off the top.
Michelle B wants to know if they have it versus AI. Well, they have the game that's versus AI, but I did go into multiplayer just because I wanted to check out some new environments and stuff, because there's so many different environments that you get to play in, right? And there was nobody there, of course, because we were playing a version that really isn't out there yet. But I was running around and things were attacking me, and I was killing other mechs. So I would imagine, I was playing with nobody in there, so I was playing against AI. So I would say yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool if they had bots you could play against AI bots or something like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But
Well, it
in the
sounds like-
PC version,
That's what
they
it
had
was. It kinda
PC
was.
version they had a HOTAS support. So I'm curious to see how, if the new, with the campaign, if they continue to do the HOTAS support, because that's how I played it when I played the PC version, and it was really good. Even though this, like I said, like Wes said, this is super intuitive. It's really, really good, easy to control. But just having the HOTAS is always cool.
Yeah, I might try
Yeah,
it with the
literally though, the only thing as far as movement goes, you set your throttle. Like I said, you're rotating your right controller like this to turn. It's super precise. It's not oversensitive, and it's got perfect range. And then all of the other like functions of your mech, are all right there. Everything is, which I don't know about the eject. Maybe you'll hit that on accident, but everything else, it's again, it's all virtual buttons, things that you grab in the cockpit, and it all works perfectly. The only thing that's not like virtual like that are the weapons, and those are your triggers and your buttons on your controllers. But again, a novice can pick this up quickly, and as high as you can get in the air, and turn midair and all of this stuff, shoot down, shoot up. Never had the least bit of discomfort with it. Like, you might think that something that looks this good graphically might suffer from low frame rates, and I did notice some foveated rendering. I don't know if you guys noticed the lines, but it does use foveated rendering. I noticed it a couple of times, but I never felt like the frame rates dipped, and I never really had any kind of headache or eye strain or upset stomach from this at all. It was just good, start to finish.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you guys use the head targeting, or
I
did
did.
you switch it over?
Oh, I
that's
didn't
what
know.
did,
I didn't know
thought it
that
was
there
pretty
was.
good. I'm assuming there is. I did look at the settings, and I thought I saw something in there for targeting, but I thought the head targeting was fine. I thought it was pretty intuitive.
Yeah, that's the way I played as well. Anyway, I don't know, what else to say. We can't, obviously spoil the game. These are first impressions. We are ahead of the embargo, so we don't want to give too much away. But I can wholeheartedly recommend this at $30. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, it's definitely $30. Worth it all day. It was worth it just for me, just for the multiplayer, but with the campaign, for sure.
Yeah. This is what multiplayer games need, right? Like, all of these multiplayer games, only like Larcenauts and all these guys that are going broke because they threw all of their eggs in the multiplayer basket. They just need a short campaign to add on to it. And then now all of a sudden the value proposition's there for everyone. All the Wes's out there are happy too, not just the Rootses. And I don't know why we don't see more of this in VR, because that's how it is on the flat side, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And it is cross-buy, right? Dave Curry wanted to know. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. If you buy it on the if you already own it on the Rift version, you'll get it automatically
That's me.
tomorrow. So
I get it for free, bro.
Now the only thing I don't know, which I didn't ask, is the Steam version getting the same update?
It is.
Okay, there you go.
100% is. $30, Eric. What do you think?
All day long, man. This game is. I loved it when it was just multiplayer on Steam. The PC version. Now that it has a campaign, it's so good, man. It's nice to be able to get out of the mech. As soon as I got out of the mech and started walking around inside one of those ships, I'm like, man, this is so cool. You started going and talking to NPCs, and you had some backstory. When you actually load into your mech, you're going down up in these huge elevators, and you load into your mech, and it's just. It gives you that you have that feeling of playing a Gundam game or Mech Warrior with this. So if you were a Mech Warrior fan, this is going to flip you out, man. It looks that good.
Yeah, it's really good. You'll know it as soon as you load into the menu screen. You'll know it. You'll be like, oh, okay, yeah. One more question before we move on from this to the next topic. There's a lot of options in here. There's even some unconventional comfort options. One of which being, it gives you the option of having an in-game nose, and it supposedly makes it more comfortable. I turned that on, but I didn't see my nose. Did you guys notice this? Did I read it wrong? What the hell is up with that?
Can you even see anything on your? I mean, how do you see your nose? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I never knew such a thing was even a thing.
I saw the in-game option for extra teeth, but I missed the one for the nose.
No, I never heard that.
I think maybe it could possibly be because we were playing on Quest, and Quest is a very constricted field of view. I think maybe when we play this on PC in a PC headset, we might be able to actually see our nose on our face.
I don't know.
I don't think I've ever seen my nose in my face in any VR game. Have you? I'm not sure what that would do.
Yeah, it's weird. That's a weird option. I didn't even see that.
It was a comfort thing.
I did changed from the like ridiculously slow snap turn, and I and off of the teleport and turned it on to smooth turn and smooth. Although you still were walking pretty slow. Like you could turn the speed up, but you couldn't turn the walk up. I want to walk faster. That's one thing I would say to the devs.
I agree with that.
Please let me walk just a little bit. Actually, about 4 times faster would be good for me. But
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly agree with that. When you're in the ship, you're on foot. It's extremely slow. It's like pulling teeth.
it's like you're pulling all those many teeth. This is the thing. This is the thing. You're used to walking slow in the mech. I'm like, oh God, okay, at least I can walk fast. No, you're still in mech style, really slow.
Yep.
So
Onakazi says, any chance of having a level where you participate in a Daedalus maneuver? And first of all, I don't know what the fuck that is. Second of all, even if I did, I probably wouldn't be able to answer that question. So I don't know. Anybody know what a Daedalus maneuver is?
I do not.
I don't
I
either.
know it was part of Greek. Daedalus was part of Greek mythology, but I don't know what the maneuver would be.
Do you know who does know what a Daedalus maneuver is?
My mom.
Oh yeah, she's been doing that her whole life. Probably. It does sound like some kind
tell
of
you
a
what.
kinky maneuver.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, that girl that's training us, I'd like to do a Daedalus maneuver with her.
Oh yeah. What about the chick?
I sat down with her. She didn't like me.
Oh yeah, that's
No.
the thing. That was what was kind of cool, is like you could sit in different seats, right? And as I was walking around, I sat down at that table right next to her. And then she was like just looking at me weird,
Oh, yeah.
right? And I was like, and then I
You know what it is?
Hmm.
She thinks she's better than us.
Yeah, this chick legitimately
does.
thinks she's better than us. But yeah, no, so I sat, but then I left, and then they said go back and talk to her, right? The other person, after I talked to somebody else, I said, okay, great, she's gonna be nice to me. She was still a bitch. It was like she was rude. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
She did warm up a little bit after you go back,
Mm-mm.
but yeah, I did the same thing. I sat down with her before she knew who I was, and she's like, "I'm eating." Yeah, what can I do for you? I'm like, "You're not eating. Where's your food?"
Yeah,
Like, I
she
don't
was
see
just-
food.
She was just sitting there.
Yeah, she wanted nothing to do with me at all.
Yeah, and she just told me to go to bed. Like as soon as she got to meet me, she's like, "Get out of here, pal." I was like, "All right, take a hand." You don't have to tell me once. I'm out, bro.
Fine, lady. Wait till you see me on TV.
Yeah, that's right. You're gonna wish.
Anyway, good stuff here. Highly recommended. I don't even like mech games typically, but this is a very well done game. High production value, good storytelling, intuitive controls, and just fun to play. I dig it. It's good. You're right, Radio, right? It's good.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good. It's a good.
It's a good.
Anyway, let's move along to something we don't typically do here. Let's talk accessories. Since we're on Quest 2, let's talk some Quest 2 accessories, and let's talk a little bit about Eric, wouldn't you say it's pretty much the consensus now, the best head straps for Oculus Quest 2 coming from BOBOVR?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for sure. I mean, they probably had the best head straps before when they just did the M2 without the Pro. You know, the M2 would just without having the battery, just the M2. I think they still had the best headset. And when they ended up putting the battery on them, man, I think they moved themselves above pretty much everybody else. I mean, Kiwi has a nice Elite strap, but no battery. You know what I mean? That's and it's way better than the Elite from Oculus. So yeah, they're way above everybody else.
But here's the thing: I've got two of the regular M2s. I've got an M2 Pro, and now I have the M1 Pro. But I started out on the M2 Pro. I bought one, and the others I have, were all given as review items by BOBOVR. So big thank you to BOBOVR for keeping us in the loop with all of their latest products. Very much appreciate it. Glad to be talking about them kind of as our first real accessory review. I can't think of a more deserving company. So big shout out to them. Thank you. But when I started on the M2 regular, not the Pro, the regular M2, no battery. But what I ended up doing with it, because the big difference between the M1 and the M2 is the M2 kind of has this extra stability on your head by these two prongs that come up and rest on this part of your head right here. Where versus the M1, it's all strapped. There's a halo part that goes around your head, and then a Velcro soft cloth strap that goes over the top of your head for support. When I had the M2, the original M2, I basically turned that into an M1. I cut those prongs off. I took there was a Velcro strap that came in the box with it, and I added that on, and that's how I was using my M2. I basically made it into an M1. Then along came the M2 Pro, which with its hot swappable battery is just an amazing innovation for Oculus Quest. This is what everyone should have been doing from the beginning. Kudos to Bobo for actually coming through with it. But those head prongs were back. And what's worse is this time my wife is using it and she tells me she likes the head prongs. So now I have to leave that stuff on there. So I've been those have been on there the whole time since I had my M2 Pro. But now comes the M1, the M1 Pro. So this is the best of both worlds for me, guys. Like I get the hot swappable battery, but instead of the head prongs, they have a strap on this one. But this strap's even better. It's a wider strap. It's a higher quality material. You know, having a house full of people here, all using the Quest, it becomes very obvious very quickly that everyone has a different head and everyone prefers something different. But for my taste, for my head, M2 or M1 Pro has been the best Oculus Quest headset head strap that I've ever tried. Roots, your experience with these head straps?
I've kind of had a similar experience as you. I started with the that one that did the what M2 regular, right? Didn't have a battery, had the prongs, but I'm like your wife. The prongs I never understood, but everyone was saying they hurt and never hurt my head. I guess maybe because my head's shaped differently or whatever. Now I don't know. On the first one, were they when you took those off? Did you have to cut them off or were they Velcro?
Yeah,
Because
I cut them off. I took
because I got the second one here, and it's these ones actually they're Velcro, so you could actually take them off if you wanted to not have the thing. But I guess the thing would
the
still be there.
padding. The padding's Velcro, but the actual things it would still it would hurt worse. It would hurt worse without the padding. And for what it's worth, the M2 Pro has better padding than the original M2. The M2 padding originally was kind of thin. The M2 Pro has a lot thicker, a lot more cushiony padding. And honestly, well, let me just show you. There's a different kind of padding M1 versus M2 Pro. So M2 Pro has this thick, cushiony, very VR cover like stuff inside of it. I actually prefer this padding versus the M1. Even though I like the M1 strap design better, I prefer this material more than
The honeycomb.
the honeycomb, which is like for those of you who have seen the purple mattress, this honeycomb padding on the back is like it's like a purple mattress. It's the soft rubber and it's very soft. It's actually cushion wise, this is great. What I don't like about this is that it's rubber and I have a lot of hair and it grabs your hair. You have to learn to put your headset on differently using this if you have a head full of hair.
Doesn't get my hair, bro. Oh, the head full of hair. I thought you. And then I was thinking this. A lot of hair.
I had the same experience when I first got it, but if you position it right and the way you put it on and off, I've avoided that issue completely, and I'm a big proponent of the honeycomb. I think it's way better. But I used to have a big
Super
problem with it
soft.
sliding. Yeah, and I used to have a big problem with it sliding off the back of my head and the whole headset sliding down on my face because of that reason. But I just want to answer. Onakazi had a question. It was a good question. He's like, I'm curious as to why they called this one the M2 instead of just starting with the M1. And I had the same question. I had to ask him. I said, this doesn't really make a lot of sense. And really what happened was they started making the M1, the Elite strap, a long time ago. but they saw that a lot of people love the halo design. So somewhere in the design process of the M1, they actually stopped making it and they went all out to make the M2, which is the halo strap, because they knew people wanted the halo style. So they actually put out the M2 Pro first because of popularity, and then now they put out the M1. So that's the why they did that.
I'm still trying to decide if I want, which one do I want to keep? Because I'm going to give my nephew the other one with one of the batteries, because I only need 2 swappable batteries. And he'll be, I mean, it's going to blow his mind, but I just don't know if I'm going to keep the 2 or not, because I kind of prefer the Halo style versus the Elite strap. I just like it.
Yeah, there's a few things that I like about this. And if you're new to Oculus Quest, maybe you just got a Quest, you haven't picked up a head strap yet, and you're saying, why should I buy this generic strap versus the Oculus one? So there's a few different reasons why you should do that. First of all, the biggest reason is this right here. See this hinge? This allows for this to move freely. The Oculus straps don't have this hinge. And what ends up happening is when you take your headset on and off every day, time after time, there's a lot of pressure that gets put on this right here. And if there's no hinge, it ends up cracking and eventually it ends up breaking. I've had 3 Oculus Elite straps. 2 of them broke. The other one's still new in the box. I haven't opened it because I've had these Bobo straps and I don't need it anymore. The other reason, or one of the other things that makes this superior, you can get an Oculus battery pack or battery strap, but it doesn't do this. The batteries come off of this, and you can charge these. You can buy extras, and whenever your battery runs dead, you just pop another one on. It's got strong magnets in it. You can change these out while you're wearing the headset, no problem. And each one of these almost doubles the battery life of the Quest itself. It's really a great system. I'm actually shocked at how good this is. Not anymore, but when I first got these, I was shocked at the quality level of the build quality, the design, just absolutely phenomenal. And with this M1, I want to show you one more thing that the M2 doesn't have that I really like about the M1 is this built-in wire harness here. Whenever I'm using M2 Pro, this wire always gets loose and it messes with my ears and it's annoying until I get it tucked out of the way just right. With this wire harness, you don't have to worry about that. It stays right where it's supposed to be. And I even added an extra little band in here for my link cable. But I prefer this design over the M2 design. And even though I like the cushion on the other one better, I haven't changed it out. Like I'm still using this one because it is super cushiony. Like I like how cushiony the honeycomb is. I just don't like how it grabs my hair. It really grabs a hold and doesn't want to move.
So I actually found that if you do it more like this, and you have it up higher on your head than normal, it doesn't pull on your hair as bad. So when I used to try and do it like this, it would pull on my hair, like what you're talking about. But I actually, when I have it on now, I almost have it like this. It's like kicked up at a little bit of an angle, and it sits perfectly, and it doesn't pull on my hair at all with the back. So I think I'm staying with I have both, and I think I'm going to stay with the M1 just because I like the Elite a little bit better. Like I said, the Halo just has a tendency to slide forward on my head. So
Listen to Mash.
How dare you?
But I know they're probably more popular with the Halo. I bet. I guarantee that's probably the more popular head strap. But again, it's nice to have both, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is nice to have both. And I guess I could go ahead and show you the strap, the support strap on the M1. It's a super wide, high quality strap. It's better than the one that came with the M2. Honestly, much better. One of these head straps, whether it be the M2 or the M1, you get one of these, you get a VR cover to replace that face cushion. This all of a sudden is a very, very comfortable headset. And it wasn't before. It was actually quite uncomfortable. So yeah, I recommend either. There's really no way for you to know which one's going to be better for you until you try them out. But the good news is you can get these on Amazon, right? Like, and Amazon has a killer return policy. If you try one and it's not great, you can just send it back and get the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they have the conversion kit too. For $14, you can get the conversion kit if you really don't know, and then you have both, and you can just convert it back and forth. And it's basically you get everything with the conversion kit that you would need to switch it from a Halo to an Elite.
Yeah. And just make sure you get at least one extra battery. You're gonna want to hot swap that thing. I was telling you guys with 3, man. With 3 in my big 20,000 amp thing, I could go forever. Like, you know what I mean? Because as soon as I'm done going through one, you just plug it in. By the time you even just with the 3, it's one of them's going to be charging. They charge pretty quickly, right? So
yeah,
like an hour.
So again, yeah, it doesn't take very long at all. You do want to make sure you're using your original Oculus Quest 2 charging brick to charge these. You don't want to use like a regular cell phone charger. You'll undervolt them if you do that. The Quest 2 battery takes a little bit higher current, a little higher voltage, and so do these batteries. So you want to make sure you're using that brick. It does not come with a charging brick. It does come with the cable, but it does not come with the brick. You have to use your Oculus Quest brick to charge these. Again, you can pick these up on Amazon. You can also get them from the BOBOVR website. The original M2 with no battery is regularly priced at $49. It's on sale right now for $39. The M2 Pro battery pack is regularly priced at $80, on sale right now for $60. These are 5,200 milliamp hours, by the way, guys. These hot swappable batteries. It's like having 2 iPhone batteries, basically, in one as a backup for your Quest 2.
No, you can even use them for like an extra battery. Mash's wife took it on vacation to charge her phone at the airport. So
you did too.
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you doing with my BOBOVR battery? She's like, I need it.
How did she charge off of that? Anyway, I'm curious about that because
you just needed a USB-C to USB-C plug, which it does come with one, so that's all you just need to do.
But that the port on the battery is a charging port for the battery. It's not a outbound port. It's an inbound port.
It goes both ways. Ooh,
just like it goes both ways.
Just like somebody else.
I didn't even know that. Oh, yeah. Dude, dude, now it's on.
Yeah, if you're traveling, man, traveling, man. But if you're traveling, it's so good because you can switch it. You know, like, oh shit, I need to charge my phone. And you just use the battery from your Bobo, which is great.
Yeah, these are high quality batteries too. They have a power switch on them. It's not like a straight battery bank. It's got a power switch on the thing too. It's got LEDs. I'll show you. It's got LEDs on the front just to kind of show you how much charge you have. You just press the button. I don't know if you guys can see that, but there's 4 lights on it to show you your battery level. And you can power it on and off with this button here.
Just double tap it, yeah. What's cool is you can even put it on the back of the headset and leave it on there and double tap the battery. Because once you put it on, it automatically starts to charge it. You just try to double tap it and then just go do your thing. And then whenever you're like start to get low, you can just hit that button and it pops back on.
Yeah.
Now I don't see the M1 Pro on the BOBOVR store. Has it been released yet, or is it something that's coming soon?
No, it's out. It's out now. You can buy it on Amazon. I know I've never checked the Bobo store, but I know you can definitely buy it on Amazon.
Yeah, Taz said he bought the conversion kit, but ended up returning it because he didn't like the honeycomb. Was pulling his hair. It's not my problem. I don't have it. I don't have that particular problem. It's kind of like barbers. I don't have to worry about barbers either.
Yeah, right. You know what's complete ass? Do you want to know how much the freaking the Oculus Elite strap with battery is going for still?
How much?
Yeah, it's like $100, right?
$109 for the Oculus Elite strap piece of shit with the battery. Like and that's not even with the carrying case. Remember, it used to come for $125. You used to get the carrying case, which was a piece of shit too. But at least you got the carrying case for $125. Now it's $109 just for the Elite strap with battery, and it's no good.
That carrying case was crap. I didn't like it.
Nah, it was garbage.
Yeah, so I am on Amazon now. I do see BOBOVR M2 is $60, or M2 Pro is $60. M2 regular is $40. BOBOVR F2. I've never seen that one. Active air circulation facial interface. They have a fan for your face, guys, that you can buy for $40.
Wow.
They have a carrying case for $45. They have the BOBOVR retrofit kit for M2 Pro to M1 Pro, honeycomb backpad, that conversion kit you were talking about. $13 for that. That's all it takes. Let's see here. I'm looking for the M1. I don't see it yet. I do see the individual battery packs. Those are $35 on Amazon. And
Here's the
I don't
C2
see it.
case.
There it is. Okay, so M1 cost exactly the same as the M2. M1 Pro and M2 Pro both are $60. So basically, it's just Model 1 and Model 2.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a great deal. I mean, it's. I mean, Eric just said that the shittier quality Oculus one costs almost $50 more. You
Mm.
know,
What
and
is-
it
how much-
doesn't have a hot swappable battery like
How
this
much is
one
the
does.
extra battery? 30, right?
34, I think, right?
35.
Yeah.
Yeah, 30,
Well, that's
yeah,
worth it. All you
35
need is
bucks.
2. So just get 1 extra. And if you really want to get crazy, get 3.
Yeah. And they really had this
Anyway, I
case is
highly
probably one of
recommend
the best cases I've seen too, by the way. And what's nice with the case is actually has a spot right in the middle, right here, for the battery to go. So your battery, you can have one on your headset in there, and then the other one fits right in there.
Nice.
So these guys think of everything, man. It's got a nice little compartment right here to put all your
it.
wires and
Almost.
shit.
Yeah,
Almost
almost everything,
everything.
because I'm looking for my container, my case. It's not here. They didn't think of everything. They didn't think to send me one. Although I do
guess we got-
appreciate what they already sent me. So
I guess we got to fix that.
yeah.
Now, this is what this is what I would say, because I do have one suggestion. If the good people and engineers at Bobo see this, I do have one suggestion for a future iteration of this head strap. There is one thing I would like to see them modify on it. I would like for the back of the strap, back here, I would like for this area back here to have a, USB-C pass through, and the reason why is I want to be able to plug my link cable into this thing, and I don't necessarily need to be able to use the battery, but routing the link cable on this thing is not the easiest thing to do. I put a band on the other one to kind of route it myself. But if they had a pass through on this, that you could plug your link cable in the back and it just travels along this, then you never have to unplug this. This could just stay in all the time. You don't have to worry about wearing your port out, and your cable would naturally just come off the back and be more comfortable anyway. I think that would be a great addition if they could pull that off from a technical standpoint. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. It seems like something that they would be able to do, though. It wouldn't be that much more difficult, and it would improve what is already the best strap on the market.
Yeah.
Yeah. Traveling Man asks if the fan works with the battery pack, and it does. They actually, the cord that you get with the M2 Pro is this cord right here, and this is actually what it's meant for: is to plug in directly from the back of the battery pack to your F2 fan.
Really?
To run your fan. Yep. It's actually like the perfect length to make it. That's what they actually say in their directions.
I'll
So
have to look at it. I thought you.
So
I
what?
might
Do you
have one.
plug it? You plug it into the top of the battery? Is that what you do?
correct. Yep. And then you can run your fan off the battery as well as your headset running off the battery.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really awesome. They could really. I mean, the sky's the limit with something like that. If you have a power source on your headset like that, they could really come up with some creative accessories for this thing, like a fan,
Yeah, right. That's one thing I could say. These guys are not sitting on their asses. I can tell you that for sure. Because every time they come out with something else, I'm like, holy crap, man! They're just, I mean, you're like, oh, okay, how are they gonna make that better? And then they come out and they do something, and make it better. So
Well, I'm glad Oculus or Meta is giving them an opportunity to kind of work on one this time, right? Instead of rolling over to the next gen so quickly. It's going to come at some point, but at least they've had time to put a couple different products out for this one before they have to move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Wolf Rousey, you can
Anyway,
charge the F2 fan. He's asking if the fan has battery. You can charge the F2 fan, and it'll hold a charge, and then you can recharge it with the battery if you choose.
yeah. So yes is the answer to your question. It does have an independent battery.
It does.
Anyway, I don't know what else to say. Thoroughly impressed with the quality of this. It does not seem like generic. This seems like name brand stuff, high quality engineering, high quality products. Really, the only question is which one feels better on your head, and really the only way to know that is to try it out for yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
All right. So with that said, let's move on to our final topic of the day. Recently, well, I've detailed the story a few times. I started out on PlayStation VR, and it wasn't long after I got into PlayStation VR that I found out about Fallout 4 VR being available to PC players. For a while, I had hopes that the game would come to PlayStation. It is a Bethesda game, after all. But after a while, it became abundantly clear that that was not going to be the case. This was going to be a PC exclusive forever. So I did what anybody would do. I just built a PC and bought Fallout 4 VR. This was 2017. I had an Oculus Rift CV1. I had a 1080 Ti, 8700K, a powerful gaming PC of that time. And it would not run smoothly. It didn't officially support Oculus in the first place, but it would run. There were workarounds, but I couldn't get it to run smoothly. That said, I was a novice. I didn't know about tweaking settings. I didn't know about anything. I just know it didn't work. So that game went to the list of shame and remained there for years until I don't know, about 2 weeks ago, it dawned on me that not only am I not on my Oculus headset anymore, but I'm on a whole new computer now with a whole new graphics card, a whole new CPU. I'm much more powerful in that department now. Maybe, just maybe, Fallout 4 will run for me now. And I'm happy to report I installed it about a week ago, got in there and tested it out, and it does indeed run. It runs quite well, actually, surprisingly well when you consider the high resolution in my Reverb G2. The fact that it runs butter smooth and I can stream it and it runs smoothly, that really just surprises me. And I'm quite thrilled because really this is, if I could make a game for VR, like if I could just like describe like the perfect game, this is pretty close. Like I've put a good 4 hours into it earlier today live on this channel. And guys, I'm in love with Fallout 4. Eric, I know that this is your first time playing it as well. What did you think about this game? Were you as amazed at this post-apocalyptic open world? Were you as amazed with it as I was?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is, and this is my kind of game too, because, and I didn't really realize how much of a looter shooter it is, because this is all about, going around and finding stashes and grabbing parts and grabbing, items that you can use later to upgrade your stuff. And man, I love that. I mean, that's why I love Tarkov so much, is I love finding loot. I love getting loot. And this is a huge part of this game, and I love it, man. And there's exploration here. I mean, is it open world? Because I mean, I've only played a few
It's an
hours
open
into it
world.
myself, so it just seems like you can go everywhere. Like there was no set path, and like even in the beginning, I'm like, I'm trying to figure out exactly where I'm supposed to go in the beginning, and it just seemed like you could do whatever you want. And then if you wanted to follow a story, you could. But if you just wanted just to sandbox it, you could just do that.
And what a sandbox it is. Roots, this map is absolutely massive, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's massive, and there's all sorts of crap going on. There's all sorts of people, raiders, animals, mutant stuff. Like Mash said, you're constantly finding all sorts of items. And that's probably one of the things that I'm sure both of you at first, because you're picking up everything, clipboards, like all sorts of shit. You're like, why am I picking up all this stuff. Like, what is all this stuff? Because you could just feels like you can pick it up endlessly. And of course, you eventually can't. But there's so much crafting, right? And it's kind of like, I guess, Saints and Sinners in a sense, where you go back to the shop or the workbench and you deposit all that stuff and it scraps it into certain parts. Then you're able to start crafting stuff. You're finding different things to craft. There's so much to this game. Like, you guys are just scratching the surface. I've played quite a bit, but I've watched my son play in VR like 20 hours or so. And he's played the original and he just goes crazy in there. And just the weapon system. I don't know how far you guys got into the VAT system where you can slow down time and you can precise. Like, that's why I was saying a couple weeks ago, Wes, I was like, dude, this game is like made for you. There's so many, every aspect of it, the exploration, the crafting, even the good crafting of building stuff. And then once you get that suit, that they kind of allude to a little bit once you meet the people in Concord. But once you can get that suit, then a lot of things open up. It's really cool. I really love this game.
Yeah, I eventually got into the VATS. It took Radio Runt beating it into my head with like 15 comments. Every time I would fight something and I'd get done killing it, I'd look over at Radio Runt and I would read that he had said, use the VATS, use the VATS, use the VATS. Eventually, after I got inside that compound, that factory, in the next town, past Concord, that place is full of raiders, and you kind of need to use the VATS in there. After that, I had a little easier time remembering it. But even if this game were just a sandbox, I'd be in heaven. Like, it's such a vast map. There are multiple huge cities with buildings that you can go in a large number of the buildings and just loot all day long. You could just loot all day, base build and loot to your heart's content in this. My God, if this were a multiplayer game. It makes me surprised that the Fallout 2077 or whatever it's called, the multiplayer one failed so badly. That blows my mind. After playing this, this is everything you'd ever want. If I could have people in there with me, like, I wouldn't even need the awesome story campaign that the thing gives you. It's just the level of detail with regards to the gameplay loop. It's so nuanced, and the maps are so large. And I just love this aesthetic. I love the post-apocalyptic aesthetic. A lot of people are the Skyrim type people. I'm not. I'm a Fallout type person. I don't want a sword. I want a gun. I don't want, dragons. I want zombies. And this game is, again, if I could like write my perfect game, this is very close to what it would be.
I'm the same way. And you know what's funny is it's 76 is what Onikazi's Fallout 76. The reason why 76, and I don't think it's failed, people still play it. And actually, I was telling Mash and Radio Runt, I want to go back into it. I did get it. I own it. The reason why a lot of people didn't like it initially is there was no NPCs. Like, everybody you ran into, except for other people, were robotic. There was no interaction with people, right? It felt very barren, very weird. They've since introduced more NPCs, and they've kind of fixed that. But yeah, I agree. This world and exploring it, I thought it was super cool hanging out with my friends and leveling up in an MMO that's in this world, right?
Yeah. There were no. What you're saying is there were no drug addicted old psychic ladies.
Yeah, just everything. Like, some of the best parts of Fallout is all the interaction. You get to meet I remember what that dude's name is. The when you first get to Concord, right? You get to know these characters, and the whole storyline as things start to develop. There's weird things going on with the human race in general, and I'll leave it at that. So you just you start to look at everybody different. At least I do. And so you just don't know what's going on. And I just think the story is so cool. And, Fallout 4 was a perfect fit for VR. And that's kind of a shame that it came out when it did, in a sense, because it kind of falls out under the radar. A lot of people don't have a computer that can run it. And the next thing that I'm excited to do is add some mods to it, which we're planning on doing because there's a lot of different really cool mods out there. I don't want to change anything. I just want things to run smoother and play a bit better, right? So, or look a little bit better.
I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
shocked at how good this game looks. Like this game was what year was this game? It was
2017,
2017. I mean, this game.
5 years old.
If this game shipped today, I'd be like, wow, this is amazing, great new game. But this game was 2017. I mean, and it still looks. This is AAA. This is AAA VR, man. It looks
Yeah.
so good. You know, I mean, now I can see it's not perfect. There are issues. There's small issues, but
Yeah.
compared to what some of the other crap that we see out there, this game's crazy and good.
What do you think it says about the VR, library that 5 years on, this is still a top 5 VR game?
Well, I mean, it tells you a lot of things. It tells you how good Fallout 4 is, but it also tells you exactly what has really been like on my mind for over a year is just the games just don't have the depth of the VR games, and they're getting there. But like a game like this, it has everything, and that the story is so deep, and the gameplay is so deep, and the how you're leveling all your charisma and your strength and your intelligence, like all of those trees, that there's so much depth to it. How do you compete with that, right? Like it's just very difficult. It's got to be on a different level.
So it shows you why VR was dead, right? Like, because we didn't really get these games. This game was largely funded to be a HTC Vive exclusive when it came out. That was why this game exists. We got our Doom game, we got our Skyrim game. Again, these are all Bethesda games. Like, outside of that, Oculus did some really good exclusives early on in their cycle as well, with the Wilson's Heart, with Edge of Nowhere. I mean, they had some good ones too. And then Sony, of course, Sony had good AAA games, but they weren't franchises, just like the Oculus ones weren't franchises. Only these Bethesda games were really the only early franchises we had. Now we've got Half-Life Alyx, but again, we're 5 years later now, and we're only just now starting to get to the point where people are starting to talk about making these types of games again. And this is why there's such excitement for PSVR 2, why there's such excitement for all of the deals that Oculus or Meta has been making. We can see that Gen 2 for VR doesn't just mean new hardware. It's going to mean a new era of AAA games for VR. And that's really the one thing that the library has lacked up until this point.
Yeah. Returnal.
Yeah, really. That'll be awesome.
God, don't even get me started on that, boy.
It
Anyway,
just shows you though what they could do. I mean, how many titles are out there? How many IPs are out there that you could easily move into virtual reality, move them into VR, and have these AAA experiences fairly easy. They did this again. They did this in 2017, 2018. I mean, today it's 2022. Why can't we take any game, especially a first-person game, and move it into VR and have it work good and have it look great?
We can.
I mean,
that's why all these modders are doing it and making all these big companies look stupid.
They're
You
making
risk
them
a
look so
rain
stupid.
too, taking a third-person game, putting it in first person, and making it phenomenal. So that's why I keep saying I feel like we're just around the corner from a blow up of games just dropping in our laps. They've been working on them, especially for PlayStation VR 2 for at least a year or two, right? So I think we're going to see a lot more than we think. Amazing titles.
It's got to be a question of
I agree.
adoption. Like how many did this sell? You know, I mean, did this make Bethesda any money at all to where they wouldn't do it again? You know what I mean? So, or another company wouldn't look at it and go, "Wow, why don't we do this?" So the difference in adoption of VR back then to what it is now, maybe because it's way more mainstream now because of the ease of use of, say, the Quest platform. Maybe it's feasible now where it wasn't feasible then, or where it didn't make money then.
Yeah, for sure. No, definitely there's more money out there. They know that for sure.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. This game could have made great money on VR VR standards and still been a drop in the bucket for somebody like Bethesda. I'm sure most of the money they made probably came from HTC or Vive or Valve. I mean, um, but who knows? I mean, this game again, it persists as one of the best in VR, and we're going to bring attention to it. I'm not about to walk away from this game like I typically do when we cover games on this show. I typically cover them and then on to the next. That is not going to be the case here. I am playing through this game, or at least very deep into it. And, I'm almost scared to go, dive into the main quest on it because I don't want it to be over with ever. So like I can see myself playing out a lot of the side quests, and there are many. You can just freelance and just start exploring the city, and you will run in the side quests on this game that'll keep you occupied forever.
Did
I
you?
even told the people who, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna ask if you found the radio stations in your
No, not yet.
in your no in
Oh,
your,
in the and
so you
yeah,
can be
yeah, I
like
did.
listening to classical music, or like the music in this game is amazing. Just to be walking around listening to some of the songs and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a AAA game, bro.
Yeah.
It's a triple game, but now with that said, what Eric said was true. It's not all sunshine and roses. It does show its age a little bit. The early part of the game, before you get put into the bunker, and really the kind of the prologue to the game, there's some performance issues in that, like some real performance issues. It was a little jittery for me, even on my new computer. I had to turn the settings down to get through that initial 20 to 30-minute period. But it was even worse for you, wasn't it, Eric?
Yeah, I don't know what had happened with me, but when I was in the bunker, it was just really like you would turn if you turned your head, one or you turned your body one way or another, there would be a motion blur, and then it would take a second, and then it would clear. And I said, "Oh man, I hope this isn't going to be this way." You know what I mean? And I tried to dial down my settings and go to medium instead of high, and it didn't affect it at all. I wasn't getting like jitteriness or lag or anything like that. It was just a blur that was really annoying. But as soon as I got to the outside levels where you're in the environment outside, it was completely gone. And you would think that would be way more of a graphical hog than being inside in these
Mm.
corridors. But it was crazy the way everything completely cleared as soon as I got outside. I was so impressed. And I had everything just like Wes had too. I had everything jacked way up as high as I could get it. And on my 2080 Super, I had no issues running it.
Mm.
Yeah, after you get outside the bunker, like I had my settings dialed back, but after I got outside the bunker, I started a test stream, a private stream, just to see if it's playable, if the stream was going to be good quality. Um, I started a stream, and I noticed it was working remarkably well. It didn't take a performance hit at all after I got out of the bunker and started streaming. So I said, "Well, let's start to slowly push these settings up and find the line. Let's find that line uh, where the quality's still as good as it can be without affecting performance." And I pushed it up, and I pushed it up, and I pushed it all the way up, and it was fine. And that whole stream, the whole 4 hours today, was on max settings in my G2, which again, just incredible. Um, any performance issues for you, Roots?
It was a little bit. I mean, I kind of had the same thing in the beginning. I kind of was messing with stuff. I didn't really notice if I knew that, like Onikazi was saying that Fallout 4 is famously badly optimized. Many of the models are heavy, poly-wise, and it's more of a system hog than it should be. So that was one of the reasons why people didn't receive it as well as it could have in the beginning. And it's one of the reasons why the major mod that I want to find, there's mods out there that optimize it a little bit, make it run better for you. Because if you're running a 3080 and you're having issues a little bit in the beginning, then that's kind of a problem, right? But yeah, other than that, once I got outside, it was fine. And I was playing on virtual desktop, so that synchronized space warp or whatever does really well to keep things smoothed out. So
Performance not the only potential issues here, and it just depends on who you talk to. But this is not really what a lot of people would call a full VR game. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of button press interaction with it rather than like grabbing and using your hands for absolutely everything. The weapons are all single-handed weapons. Like you can't two-hand your weapons at all. Even the rifles are pistols, just long pistols. Um, how about how about did that stuff bother you, Roots? Like I got over it pretty quickly because the aiming and the sights, the guns are actually really accurate. And what I really liked is like if you get in the wrong kind of fight, like the enemies can maim your arm and that will affect the way that you aim. And like it's so detailed. Um, but everything else was so good in this game that stuff really I didn't give it a second thought after I got going. What about you though? Did you lament at all the fact that this isn't VR AF as our friends at Without Pro like
I
to
I
say?
I turned it off and it's garbage. I got on Twitter and I was telling people to play it flat. No, actually, I actually did. It didn't bother me at all. This is the thing. The fact that like even Mash was saying, because he was kind of not. I was trying to explain to him that you push an A and you're pushing buttons and stuff. So I think you were thinking you don't even get to aim your gun down and stuff. I said no. He's like, is it a Game Pass? I said no. You have your gun. It looks badass in your hand. There's so many different weapons, each one of them different. Could it be different? I mean, I guess it can. You can get mods that can have you hold and, they can. I don't get hung up on all that. I just want all the story. I want the depth of the gameplay. People get so wrapped up in everything that you just talked about, but then they have no problem with there being nothing to pull them through the experience. I kind of need a story and I need good gameplay and I need a lot of an amazing gameplay loop. And this game has all of that. Now, I don't know if you got your first companion or not, but those companions are actually really cool and helpful. So
I did not get a companion. I mean, unless you count my dog.
well,
Yeah.
the dog is pretty cool. You can. That's what's kind of cool about this too is you get to make choices. Like you don't have to have. You can send the dog away, and then just go do your thing single. Same thing with the companion.
Do that. This dog's like Haru, dude. There were parts where he was floating in the air and like it was amazing. I would never send him away.
He saved your ass too, man. And if something comes in attacking you, he's right on there.
Right.
He'll be the first one in there.
He kicked those moles' asses.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, super cool.
He'll take down the raider too, and the zombies. Like he'll attack them and get them on the ground so that you can shoot them. And he even found a safe for me once. Like when we came back to Sanctuary from Concord, he started barking it with his house, and I'm like, what is it, man? And I followed him in there, and he took me to a safe. Pretty cool.
That is
Nice.
cool. Yeah, he'll help you find some secret stuff, secret stash.
Yeah.
Eric, any issues with the kind of the dumbed down button press control scheme in the game?
I didn't even think about it. I really didn't. I was so into the story. I was so into the world that I was in that it didn't bother me at all. And it does bother me in some games. I hate that sometimes you hit it. To open a door, you got to highlight it and then press a button. It does bother me, but for some reason in this one, it just didn't. I was so enamored with the environments and the weapon looked cool in your hand, and you got to aim down the sights of the weapon, which I thought were cool. And the only issue I had was it wasn't with how the controls are done, but I had an issue with my controller. I played on the index, and I had a little bit of an issue with the index controllers. Like the wheel for the dog commands kept going off for me every time I tried to turn. I would I would turn right or left, and it would issue a command for the dog when I didn't mean to. So I don't know if that's just an index issue, because with the index, a lot of times they're asking you to use that touchpad and not the stick, which is a little bit weird. So I just think I need some more time with it to get used to it. But other than that, I thought it was great.
I'll tell you what to try, because I had some control issues with it initially as well on my G2 controllers. All the functions were there, but it wasn't optimized very well, especially with the weapon wheel and those types of things. I went in and downloaded a new controller binding from the community. I made sure I picked somebody who had multiple, thousands of hours and, a highly rated binding. Downloaded that, switched to it, and it's been perfect ever since. Everything's been absolutely perfect since then. So you might try just to see if
That's what
there's
I'll
a
do.
better binding, and that could make a big difference for you.
Yeah, I'm sure there is then. Yeah, I mean, because the community with the bindings is so good usually, so I'm sure somebody's got something great there. I just didn't even think to go in and check it.
Yeah. Something else I was really impressed with too is, or really it surprised me, were the how good the throwing mechanics in the game are. Like, I expected it to be like a button press thing where, you equip your grenade, you see an arc, you press the button, and it throws it for you. No, no, you arm your grenade and throw it yourself. And dude, I was killing it with those grenades. They were going right where I needed them to. I was blowing up the turrets like it wasn't shit. Um, Loved it. It was really well done and surprisingly so.
That's what my point about this whole thing is where it matters, they made it VR enough. With throwing stuff, shooting the guns. It would have been nice to hold, two guns or two hands on the gun, but I don't think they were doing that much back then. Maybe they were. I don't know what the reason is for that, but it's actually done very well. And I can't wait to see the with mods. I mean, there's just so much going on.
Well,
Like you said, look at all this crap going on. This person has nonstop been fighting shit for the last like 5 minutes of this video. It's crazy.
Wolveraza asked, so the left arm is totally garnished? Not totally. You use it to pick up items. You use it to interact with things like doors, and you do use your left hand. And if you want, you can put your Pip Boy on your arm
yeah.
and interact with it that way. But I chose not to do that. I prefer to have
Screen.
the Pip Boy HUD just pop up on the screen. I found it much easier to
Mm.
use that way.
It is.
I had it on my wrist, so maybe I check that out.
Yeah, I saw in this
That's
video
right.
the guy's he's not using the wrist, and I think it would be easier just to have a display. It would be, I guess, and this is kind of ironic because a lot of people would say that it's immersion breaking, right? Like having a display pop up instead of, it's designed to have it as the wrist. It's cool technology, but I agree. I think it would be better to have that display.
It was hard to navigate when it was on your wrist because you're turning your arm sideways, but the thumbstick is on that same controller that you're using to navigate it, and it seems unintuitive because you're pushing one way and it goes the other, and it's inverted to begin with, by the way. Like if you notice when you go to the map, you press up and it looks down, you press down and it looks up. You actually have to go into the settings and hit invert controls to get it to actually scroll the correct way. But even on top of that, when you turn your hand sideways and now left is up and right is down and up is right, it makes it so much more difficult to deal with. I found it much easier to navigate, just having it pop up on the screen, having the controls inverted so that they work the way that it seems like they should to me. And after I figured out what the settings were, all of the friction that I had early on went away. Like it was just butter after that.
Cool.
Anyway, I love this game. It's already one of my favorite VR games. I'm not going to stop playing it. People have told me to keep streaming it, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring you guys along for every step of the way. As long as you guys watch it, I'll keep streaming it. But regardless of that, I'm going to keep playing it because I absolutely love it. And hopefully we get more of this in the next gen. That's kind of what we're counting on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we got all these big moves in these big companies, right? So I think it's going to happen.
I
Yeah.
agree. I
This
think
is
Sony's going to make it happen.
exactly. As I was say, should make you feel good about what Sony's vision is. I mean, because if they could do this back then, this is what Sony envisions. This is what they want to do. They want to do hybrid. Now, could you do the controls maybe a little bit better? Yeah, but again, it's 4 years ago or 5 years ago. So why can't they make it better now? Why can't they make it a little bit more VR? But give me the AAA, man. Hey, you know what? Give me the AAA. Give me this in a new game. I'm fine. I'll live with the controls the way they were. I was happy with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Absolutely. And by the way, guys, if any of these downsides that we have mentioned is a deterrent for you, if it's a game breaker, like I wouldn't be able to play like that. Guess what? There's mods for all of it. There's mods that make the graphics even better. There's mods that make the performance better. There's mods that give you a full body with full inverse kinematics. There's mods that make everything have VR interactions. so that you, instead of button presses, you actually use your hands. There are mods to take the HUD away. There's mods to make it a super hardcore survival game. There are tons of mods for this. And most people recommend that you play it with the mods. But my whole thinking was, how could I possibly appreciate any mods if I don't have a baseline experience to go off of? So I'm playing through it like this. And then maybe later I'll start experimenting with mods. But I'm completely happy with it as it is stock. So it'll probably be a while before I start messing with it.
I would at least mod the optimization, even though you probably don't need to. But that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm not really worried about, I don't want to switch anything. I just want it to run really good. That's all.
It didn't seem like the mods were super easy either. Did you guys look at how, it wasn't like it was like it was for like Resident Evil 2 or, some of these other mods that we've done. It looks a little bit more involved.
Yeah, if you want to do the whole Genghis VR pack, then yeah, it looks like it's going to take hours to do it correctly. So, yeah, maybe later. I'm happy with it as it is. I'm going to keep playing it. You guys going to keep playing it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm hooked, man. I'm hooked now. So anytime I can get a chance to get in there and do it, I'm definitely going to do it. I want to find out where my kid is, man.
Sean.
Where's Sean?
Man,
and he shot my wife.
That's crazy, dude. Spoiler. Oh wait, this game's been out for 5 years.
If we're spoiling now, we're in trouble, man.
Yeah, so we're all going to keep playing it. So I think it's highly likely a couple months down the road we revisit this on this show as we get a little deeper into it. I do think this is something we're going to be playing a couple months down the road. There's enough game here to support it, and we can't just shut everything down and play this. Although I did kind of joke on the stream earlier that I was closing down the channel until PSVR 2 comes out and just playing Fallout 4 until then.
So, well, this is the beauty, like we have to do all this other stuff to cover this or cover that, but you've never really relied on your streams to do that. So your streams can just be, as far as you're concerned, you can just be doing this. You know what I mean? Just going to, I know Zimtalk does that with Skyrim. He just goes very deep, spent hundreds of hours streaming it, right? And it would take a while to get to that point, but yeah.
I've got three. I've got three. I'm pretty much going to rotate on my streams. No, 3 games. 3 games I'm going to rotate. I want to play this. I want to play through Aftershocks because, as you know, we've got new content coming from them. I want to finish Aftershocks, and I want to play through the Return to Rapture, Chapter 1, because Chapter 2 is coming to pick up right where that one ends off. So I want to play through that so I can fully appreciate the second part, which again is coming in a week.
That's crazy.
Super cool. Yeah.
Anyway, before we go, I want to shout out our newest patron, which he isn't really a patron. He didn't join the Patreon, but he gave me $100 cash the other day when I went to work and said, "Here, I love your channel. I want you to succeed. Please take this money." And after me arguing with him about it for about 5 minutes, I just took it. So he's now a Patreon. He's going to get access to all the Patreon stuff. Chris Meadows, thank you, sir, for your support. Get this, guys. Like, this guy recently just got back into flat gaming. Like, recently. It's a guy that works in my department on another shift. So as we're passing in the locker room each day, I start talking to him about VR. Just so happens that, like, his favorite game in the world, Fallout 4 VR. So I'm like, dude, I just installed it. I'm getting ready to play it. You can play it in VR. It's going to be amazing. So he starts, I give him the channel name. He starts watching the content, starts watching the 2021 show.
Oh, wow.
And loves our channel. Decides to support us, gives me $100. The next day, or maybe it was 2 days later, the guy orders an Oculus Quest 2. It should have been there today. So he should have his headset right now, trying it out for the first time. So a big shout out to him. A big thank you. I was a bit heartbroken today when I was talking to him. He said, "Oh man, I can't wait." He watched the stream. He caught a little bit of the stream today. "I can't wait to play Fallout 4 in VR." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, what kind of a computer are you running?" "Oh, I've got a 1660 Super with an i5. I'm like, "Oh God."
Plutosphere.
You might want to. You might want to. Yeah, you might want to Plutosphere that, bro. I'm not so sure your computer is going to cut it.
No, you're gonna have to mod the hell out of it. The game.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Because whatever they do, I guess the mods are changing the polys, right? Making it a little bit easier to run. I am gonna when I modded Skyrim, I think I had like 250 mods on that thing.
That's crazy.
It was
That's
crazy,
too much commitment for me.
but it was
That's
crazy.
too much commitment for me,
dude. The thing is it's like tattoos. It's addictive, and there's so many cool things, and you're just like making trees cooler and taller, and adding dungeons, and adding dragons, and adding this and adding that. It was so cool, man. Like there's so many cool mods. I guarantee Fallout 4 would be worth it for sure. So I'm gonna be checking it out and seeing what I can make it look cool.
Anyway, I'll help him get an acceptable, playable way to play Fallout 4 eventually. But again, this is his day one in Quest. Let's let him get through first steps. Make sure he doesn't get sick. Let's get him a VR cover and a head strap, a link cable, and then we'll start talking about PC after he gets used to some standalone stuff.
Whatever you do, don't put him in fucking Beat Saber. Don't let him
Ah.
play that garbage.
Stick him on No Limits too, so he can get sick. Wolf
There
Rasta
you go.
says that's close to what he's running. He's gonna force it, and he'll let you know if he can pull it off.
There you go.
There you go. There you go. Good. Thank you, Wolvie. If you're watching this, Chris,
Thank you.
you might want to join our Discord. Wolf Raza is a active member on our Discord, and he'll be on there sharing his experiences trying to run Fallout 4 on a computer that is similar to yours. So you'll know if it works, if it's possible. He'll be able to tell you.
Yep.
Yeah. And Chris, don't play Beat Saber. It's garbage.
Don't play Beat Saber. And I think I'm going to put him in Zombieland.
Synth
That's a
Riders
good
is a
beginning
great
game,
one.
right?
That's a great
Audica.
one.
Synth Riders are musical ones.
Yeah, Synth Riders would be great.
But Zombieland, you don't have to worry about the locomotion. There's a firing range in it, like outside of the levels. There's a firing range with a bunch of weapons that you unlock. I think it's a good beginner game. I think I might have an extra key.
Swarm.
Just throw
Swarm's a great beginner game.
There's another one.
I don't know. I went back in there the other day and I was like blown away again.
Yeah, there's so many good standalone Quest games now. Like it's got quite a library. It's come a long way in the last year and a half.
Yeah, because remember when Quest 1 first came out, and you were like, "What's it going to take to get you into get a Quest?" And I was like, "Well, for one, there needs to be a game that I can't play on my Rift, and then now there's tons of them, right?"
Yeah.
Yeah, there's tons. Yeah, it's kind of the opposite now is what it used to be. Like,
yeah, it's crazy.
Everything Rift gets is a Quest port now.
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's going to wrap up our show tonight. I want to thank everyone in the chat who has stayed up to talk about these awesome games, awesome products with us. Guys, super fun show. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was cool. I really
I
enjoyed
had fun
playing all
doing
these
this one.
games. Yeah.
Yeah, I like when we do a little bit different stuff. I mean, sometimes we're always forced to like do games, and you're like, do I have to do that game, or I don't want to do that game? But I like when we do.
Well, we
do what we want to do, which I like.
Well, we kind of broke the mold a little bit toward the end of last year, but then after we got into 2021 show and past that, we kind of defaulted back to what it was before. And I feel like now we're just now starting to get our vision back as to what we need to be doing to have different content. So more split streams, more real-time reviews. We've got the next episode of On Location lined up. We've got a money show that's going to be dropping in a day or two for the patrons. We're getting back to it. We just did our first real accessory review. It's going to be a great year, guys. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
Anyway, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the big red button and ring the bell so that you can stay up with all of our content going forward. Again, if you want to support on Patreon, there's a link down below. It's only $3 a month. $3 a month. And that gets you access to our weekly show notes. It gets you access to exclusive content and insider updates, all for less than $1 per week. It's the best deal in VR, except for maybe Viveport. Viveport's pretty good too. And last but not least, of course, there's an invitation down below to join us in our home on our Discord channel, Virtual Strangers Discord. It's where all of us kind of meet when we're not on the air, when we're not in the game. It's where we meet to decide to go in the games. it's where we live. We talk games, we talk life. We invite you to join the family. Again, invitation link down below. Wolveraza, $3 donation. Great show as always. Enjoy VR, everybody. Thank you, Wolveraza. Super cool of you as always.
Yep. Appreciate
yeah.
you.
Anyway, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you all once again for watching. For Ruuts and Eric, I'm Wes. We'll see you very, very soon. Bye.
Take it easy.
See you later.